Jemma here, and I'm at home in my kitchen. And when I'm at home, one of the things I like to nibble on most, especially when I'm watching TV or a movie, is popcorn. And I'm pretty addicted to it. Once it's out, I just can't stop eating it. So I'm going to show you a recipe that will hopefully prolong the life of your popcorn. And I'm going to show you how to make popcorn ice cream. That's right, popcorn ice cream, and I'm going to show you how to make it right now. But first, we need to get over by the hob, so follow me. Now, most good ice cream starts with a custard base, which obviously has cream in it, quite often cream and milk. And the cream and milk part of it that's how I'm going to get the popcorn flavour in, because I'm going to steep some of this delicious popcorn, which I made earlier, into some milk. But the first thing we need to do is bring it to a scald, or not quite boiling point. And I've got 480 millilitres of double cream. That's going to go in my saucepan. And 240 millilitres of whole milk. And put that onto a medium heat and bring it just to the boil. So when it starts to form tiny little bubbles on the surface, that's when you take it off the heat. And now it's time to put the popcorn in. Now it's kind of up to you. It doesn't have to be exactly the amount of popcorn you put in. I've got about 6 cups in here. Just a bowl full, like a generous bowl. The more popcorn you put in, the more flavour of popcorn you're going to impart. And it's really cool, it kind of fizzes in your milk. But then just pop it in and then you leave it to steep for about an hour. So just pop the lid on and leave that for an hour, and that's going to make that really popcorny. So an hour has passed and this popcorn milk is very, very popcorny, and I'm now going to strain all the popcorn out really super thoroughly. I want as much liquid as I can possibly get out of this. So I'm really squeezing it through with my spatula because I do want to get the liquid out, but I also want a little bit of popcorn pulp, if you like. So you can kind of see it smushing its way through the sieve, and that's going to just add a little bit more popcorniness and a bit more texture. So just make sure that you've got as much out as possible. And unfortunately, I can't really think of anything useful to do with this popcorn, but if you've got a great idea, then pop it in the comments box below. It does seem a shame to throw it all away, but it's pretty gross. You should be left with about 480 millilitres of liquid, and you want to add another 240-ish just to take it up to 720 millilitres. So I've got milk to do that with, just add it straight in. And I'm going to put that back into the saucepan because we need to reheat that. And I'm going to take that over to the hob to get it heated so we can make our custard. So again, same deal, just to put that on a medium heat and bring it to almost boiling, so a scald. While that's doing its thing, I'm going to get on with the other bit of the custard. So I already have 6 egg yolks in my bowl. I'm going to add 140 grams of light, soft brown sugar to that, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you can leave it there and that will make your delicious custard, but I'm going to add a bit of extra butteriness to this popcorn ice cream, and I'm going to put in some burnt butter or brown butter, or otherwise known as beurre noisette if you're being fancy. And I've kind of burnt about 70 grams of this, which has left me with about 55 grams. And as you can see, it's nice and kind of speckled with nutty brownness, and that's going to add a really nice depth of flavour. But if you don't want to add that, if you're on a diet and you're making ice cream, then don't put it in. And then just whisk that together by hand for about a minute until it starts to not go really pale and fluffy, but just lighten up a little bit. So when your milk and cream mixture comes to a scalding point again, just turn it down so it doesn't overboil, and now we're going to temper the mixture. So what that means is, rather than shocking the eggs by dumping them straight into a saucepan full of really hot milk and cooking them, we're going to sort of regulate the temperature a little bit. So I'm taking a ladle full of that hot, creamy milk mixture, and I'm going to add it to my egg mixture and just whisk it slowly. And I'm going to do that one more time, so one more ladle full, and then it'll be ready to put in the pan. So whack that all back into the saucepan, and then we're going to heat that for a bit longer. So I'm I've got this on a low temperature and I'm just going to keep stirring it for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it's quite thin at the moment. What I want is for the back of this spoon to be completely coated when I dip it in, so at the moment it just kind of runs off. I want it to be a nice thick coat. I've been stirring this for about 5 minutes now, constantly on a low heat, and it is now coating the back of the spoon, so if I dip my spoon in I'll be able to run my finger across it and leave a nice clean channel. Right, that's my custard ready, but obviously it's quite hot now, so I don't want to go putting it into my ice cream machine as it is. And actually what I like to do is to mature it overnight, which means just put it in the fridge into a Tupperware container and just let that sit overnight and get really nice and cold. Lucky for you guys and for me, I've made some already, so let's go. And here it is. While it's been in the fridge, it's thickened up quite a bit. Which is perfect, and it looks really delicious as it is, but I am going to make ice cream, I promise. So I've got my ice cream machine here. I'm just going to pour that into the bucket. Now, depending on what kind of ice cream machine you have, the next bit might be slightly different. My guy is a complete all-in-one kind of experience. It freezes it and churns it at the same time. And I usually do my ice cream for about 40 to 45 minutes, or until it sounds like it's really struggling in there. But just follow your manufacturer's instructions. And if you don't have one of these, you can make this by hand. What you would do is put it in the freezer, and then an hour later, give it a really good whisk, pop it back in the freezer, and then keep taking it out at sort of half an hour to 45-minute intervals, doing the same thing until it's a nice consistency. But lucky for me, I have a robot to do it for me. So I'm just going to put the lid on and set my timer for 40 minutes. Now 40 minutes is a long time. You can wash up, you can do your hair, take the dog for a walk, but what you should definitely do first is to wash up your Tupperware and pop it in the freezer, because that way it'll be nice and cold when you put your ice cream into it. Right, 40 minutes later, and I have delicious looking ice cream. It's not really ready to eat yet because it's still a little bit soft, so I'm just going to put it into my cold Tupperware. If I can get it out of the thing. And once it's all in your Tupperware, just smooth out the top a little bit. And you can leave it as it is, but obviously nobody can tell what flavour it is right now. So I have got a little bit of caramelised popcorn, and if you want to know how to make that, I have got a recipe, so click on the link now. I'm just going to put some of that on top to make it look pretty. And then just pop a lid on it, and that needs to go into the freezer for a minimum of 4 hours until you're ready to serve it. And there it is, my popcorn ice cream. Absolutely delicious, really super rich. I'm gonna try it for you, just, you know, you're welcome. Ooh, yummy. So buttery. And actually, even if I hadn't put that butter in, it would still taste really popcorny, but something about putting burnt butter in makes it taste even more like buttered popcorn. Oh, that is so delicious. Right, I'm gonna go and find a movie to put on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I am about to enjoy eating this popcorn ice cream. If you make it, do let me know by hashtagging Cupcake Jemma and posting on Instagram and Twitter. I can't wait to see how you guys get on. I'll be back next week. In the meantime, do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because then you get little updates on when I post a video. And I will see you then, hopefully. Bye!